Before we dive into today's video, Saints fans, I want you to put on your general manager hat. What would you do with Derek Carr this offseason? Would you restructure him? Would you leave the contract the same? Would you cut him? Would you trade him? Get in the comment section, share your thoughts. We're going to dive into today's show. Welcome into Saints Now by Chat Sports. As always, I'm your host, Trace Girouard. Thank you so much for tuning into today's program. No matter where you are or how you're watching, we always appreciate the Who Dat Nation for taking some time out of their day to come and hang out with us. So let's talk about Derek Carr, because recently Catherine Terrell over at ESPN, who covers the New Orleans Saints, does a phenomenal job covering the black and gold. He actually sounded off. He spoke to Catherine Terrell, and he said that he's had, quote, super positive talks about his future in New Orleans. So Derek Carr right now feels pretty confident he might be back next season. Now let's dive into exactly what Derek Carr said. I got to take care of myself, and then the rest after that is really out of my hands. I've had great conversations with everyone in the building, with Mickey Loomis, with Ms. Benson, with everybody. And we all have mutual feelings, and so my confidence level is very high in what can happen, what could happen. And we've shown what it could possibly be at times. The hard part is we had to deal with some stuff that we didn't get to see the full picture all the time. So we'll see. Now, there is an interesting outlook when it comes to the New Orleans Saints and Derek Carr. You know, he is due a lot of money this year. He's currently due $40 million in 2025. If you don't restructure, if you don't change anything out, then yeah, he's going to be paid $40 million. He also, worth noting, could be owed in an injury guarantee $30 million if he can't pass a physical by mid-March. So got to keep an eye out for that as well. But if you were to cut him as a post-June 1 cut, or if you were to restructure his contract, the Saints can clear up to $30 million of cap space and save $30 million this year. Now, there's a lot of dead money in the future years and whatnot, and all that can kind of get sorted out and everything. But Carr did not say he would take a pay cut. And when you're $66 million over the cap, hey, that says something. Now, here's what Derek Carr specifically said. A lot of, sources and media outlets and graphics that you see on social media are just going to say, I won't take a pay cut. But here's the full quote. I wouldn't take a pay cut, especially with what I put on tape. Would I restructure? Absolutely. I'll always help the team that way. But there's some things that you put out there that you've earned. Even in some cases, it could be even worse. But I felt confident when I signed it that this would give the team the best flexibility at the time. But there's always kind of a respect as a quarterback. You're like, we're still in that respectful lane. We're good, build the team. But yeah, I wouldn't take anything less to do this. It's hard enough putting your bodies on the bodies through it, and you're trying to get everything you can for your family for it. And, I will give credit, to be totally fair. I wouldn't take a pay cut either. If my boss, James Yoder, came into the studio right now and said, hey, Trace, we want to hire more people. We got to figure some stuff out. I need you to take a pay cut. Probably wouldn't do it, just straight up. That's just me being me. But, there's this interesting discord and this interesting conversation. I wouldn't do that. Derek Carr, he's still a multimillionaire, and he wouldn't do, but that's the avenue that he chose. These are the avenue we chose. Like, we did not choose to go and make millions and millions of dollars somewhere. We didn't have the athletic gifts. We didn't have the talent. We didn't have whatever to be able to do that. Like, I don't blame Derek Carr for not wanting to take a pay cut. He said he would take a restructure. The contract is the way it's set up allows for that to be the case. So, I'm not against Derek Carr saying that. It doesn't really make me mad that he said I wouldn't take a pay cut. I know you sitting at home, you would not take a pay cut either if your boss came into your living room and said, hey, I need you to make less money. That's not happening. Like, come on. We all know that that's not happening. And when it comes down to Derek Carr specifically, like what he put on tape, sure. The games that the Saints won were when Derek Carr was at quarterback. They did not win a game when Spencer Rattler or Jake Haener was the QB1. But Derek Carr's tape does not justify $40 million a year for a bad team that has the opportunity to cut some of that money away, reset some things, and trim the fat and just get back on track. Like, I'm just not totally inspired by Derek Carr's tape that he's talking about. You can sit here and try and convince me in the comment section that I should be, but to be totally honest, I've seen it enough for the New Orleans Saints. I've seen it a lot longer with the Las Vegas and the Oakland Raiders. Derek Carr is who he is. He's a fine quarterback. He is aggressively league average, and that's okay. But let's stop pretending like he's some top 5, top 10, like godsend quarterback. He's just not. He's league average. He's aggressively average. He's not a terrible quarterback, but I'm tired of average. So really quick, we're going to discuss this and a lot more today in our live show, so I highly encourage you to subscribe and join. We'll be going live about 4 p.m. Central Time, maybe a few minutes after, just depending on how the day goes. So be sure to subscribe, turn on your notifications. That way you can be notified and get a push notification whenever we do post a video, we go live or put out a short form content. Anytime, any day, you guys can be notified. So be sure to subscribe for daily Saints videos, and then, of course, to join our live show later today. Now, with Derek Carr, the good doesn't outweigh the bad for me. Like, sure, you have all those deep shots to Rashid Shaheed and those deep passes to MVS and, some good throws to Juwan Johnson. And, we had him dancing, hitting the Shimone, against the Dallas Cowboys. Cool. All of that just to only win 5 games. And, in my opinion, the good doesn't outweigh the bad with Derek Carr. Like, I don't think that the good stuff that we saw outweighed the dumbass pick that he threw against the Chiefs in Week 5 on Monday Night Football, who's trying to throw it out of bounds, and he doesn't put enough mustard on it. And it gets picked off. Like, you kidding me? I'm tired of, the dumb throws again in Week 3 against the Eagles when you had the opportunity to go down and win at the end of the game, and you throw a pick. I don't like that. Like, it doesn't move the needle. Derek Carr does not move the needle for me. At one point in time, I was excited about this move, and I was excited about him being the quarterback. But now that I've seen it, now that I've lived it, I don't love it, and I am tired of it. There's this. I'm about to get a little fired up here. There is this idea of Raider fans that are actually just Fresno State fans, that are just actually Derek Carr fans, that are just Fresno State fans. It's this weird cult following around Derek Carr. But Trace, you don't know ball. The only time that the Saints won this year was when Derek Carr was the starting quarterback. Okay. Only won 5 of those. Cool. Awesome. Good job, guys. And, there's all these crazy, minuscule, ultra-specific, ridiculous stats that mean absolutely nothing where Derek Carr is a top 5 QB. I don't care. I couldn't give less of a shit, to be totally honest, because Derek Carr is aggressively average. I said it earlier. He is aggressively average. If you can't get that through your skull, that's not on me. That's on you. Derek Carr is a league average quarterback. If you took a poll, you took 100 random NFL fans. None of them were fans of the Raiders or of the Saints. If you took 100 random NFL fans, various different teams, none of them would say that Derek Carr is a top 10 quarterback. They would all say he's league average. He's about 12 to 15 to 16. It's probably where he's at. I'm tired of average. I'm tired of mediocrity. I'm tired of this idea of embracing mediocrity. Let's cut the fat. Let's move forward, and let's just get this thing under control here. The Saints are off the rails, and keeping Derek Carr a little bit longer is not going to make much of a difference. And, I don't want to knock Derek Carr as a human being. I think he's a great man. I think he's a great individual, but, man, I'm over it. I'm over Derek Carr. I'm not on the Derek Carr train anymore. I'm hopping out of the Derek Carr. So there you go. Let me know. What's one word you would use to describe Derek Carr, whether you think he's your GOAT, whether you think he is average, whether you think he's funny, whether you think he's respectable. I don't really care. Just don't be too mean. Don't what's the word? Degrade. Don't degrade the guy as a human being. As a football player, use one word to describe Derek Carr. Now, really quick, we're going to dive into more because I got to talk about Carr and Rattler and the future in that regard here in just a moment. But really quick, got to give a big-time shout-out to Game Time for sponsoring today's video. And one of my favorite ways to spend the weekend is going to live events with either my friends, my family, or my girlfriend, Maddie. And actually, just last weekend, Maddie and I were able to go see Co Wetzel, one of our favorite country artists, out in Fort Worth, and we used the Game Time app. I got $20 off my tickets, and I used that $20 to go get us a few extra rounds of beverages when we were at the venue. And the playoff games are here, whether it's college or professional, and that is a great place to make memories with your people. And we've got a great deal for you if you download the Game Time app. Create an account and use code CHATSPORTS. You'll get $20 off your first purchase. Terms do apply there, but Game Time also has a feature called Game Time Picks that makes getting tickets to see your favorite teams play live even easier. Game Time Picks filters out the fluff to show you only incredible deals on great seats, so you don't have to waste time searching through thousands of tickets. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, and use code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. Reminder, terms do apply, but once again, create an account and redeem code CHATSPORTS. That's code CHATSPORTS for $20 off your first purchase. All that information is in the comments and description of this video. Click the link to get started. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. So I know I just kind of went on a little tangent of saying I'm over having Derek Carr be my quarterback. Factually speaking, in this moment right now, Wednesday, January 8th at 9:50 a.m., Derek Carr right now is the best quarterback on the roster. There's no question about it. He's much better than Jake Haener. He's much better than Spencer Rattler right now in this exact moment. But a lot can change when you get to the offseason. Training camp, offseason workouts, just personal workouts when you're going to work with coaches and other players, like a lot can change. Rattler or Haener could have some crazy development over the course of an offseason. So hopefully that happens. And the Saints don't need to run it back with Derek Carr. I'm kind of in the camp that I would much rather see the growth of Spencer Rattler or Jake Haener than run it back with Derek Carr. And, call me crazy. I would much rather lose 12 games with Spencer Rattler being my quarterback than Derek Carr. Like, at least you're not paying him $40 million. At least with Spencer Rattler, kind of feels like you're working towards something. At least with Spencer Rattler, you're like, well, he's not making that much money. Bad draft pick. Couple of years, let's go try again. Like, I would much rather do that. And Rattler aggressively looks like a rookie. And I want to emphasize, and I want to make sure it's very, very clear here, that is okay. Like, it is okay that a rookie football player looked like a rookie football player. And I don't think we should be sitting here saying, get him the hell off of the team, get him the hell out of New Orleans. Rattler showed me enough to say he should at least stick around this offseason to compete. I'm not going to sit here and say he should compete for the QB1. I think Derek Carr, if he's here, he needs to be the QB1 next year. However, I would much rather just roll the dice, see what happens with Spencer Rattler, and then if it doesn't work, just go draft a quarterback. And, in my perfect world, let's go ahead and just move on from Derek Carr now. Let's rip the Band-Aid off. Let's stop dealing with this nonsense, and let's just go be bad next year. Like, it's not going to be fun. It's going to suck. We're going to be the butt of the jokes. We're going to be laughed at. We're going to be made fun of. We're going to be bad. And that's okay, because I would rather go through the growing pains with a rookie or with a young quarterback than just dealing with an aggressively league average quarterback that we know what his limit and his ceiling is. We know what the sky high limit is with Derek Carr. That's it. It caps off here. With Spencer Rattler, who knows? Maybe it's up here. Maybe it's down here. But we don't know. Like, I don't want to have to continue to do this with Derek Carr. And call me crazy. I'd rather just be bad. I'd rather just be bad for a little bit. Like, I'm willing to sacrifice 1 or 2 bad years. I'm willing to take on the heat. I'm willing to take the smoke. I'm willing to deal with the bullshit of a few bad seasons. If that means that we can go and get a future Hall of Famer, if that means we can go and get a cornerstone future piece, if that means we can get the next Drew Brees, if that means we can get the next great quarterback, I am okay with being bad for 1 or 2 years. And after that, then you start playing okay, what the hell is going on here? But I'm willing to just deal with it for 1 or 2 seasons. Go get Arch Manning. Go get a young quarterback in the next couple of years. Go draft some crazy young talent. Make a wild trade. Save a bunch of money these next couple seasons, and then go draft a rookie quarterback and put a ton of weapons around him like the Niners had with Brock Purdy his rookie season. They went to the Super Bowl, or not to the Super Bowl, the NFC Championship, but they went far. I'm just saying, like, I would rather deal with 2 fluke bad years, than 20 fluke bad years because we just can't figure it out. You see what I'm saying? Not 20 fluke bad years, but 20 consistently bad years. You know what I'm saying? Like, F it. I'm tired of this team. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching today's video. Reminder, we will be going live here a little bit later in about I mean, I can't even do the math right now. 6-ish hours, I think, right now. So be sure to subscribe. Tune into that here in just a little bit. Around 4 p.m. Central Time is what we're shooting for. Make sure you like the video so that way you can support the show, and that way it's a little bit easier for you to find our content on your YouTube recommended page. And also get down in the comment section. Did I get anything right? Was I wrong? Do I know ball, or am I the dumbest guy you've ever seen wear a headset? Let me know down in the comments. Y'all stay golden, and we'll see you next time.